y'all. Okay, so today we're gonna tap in to remembering who we are here on earth. Now, today I'm gonna do it a little bit different because I wrote this all down. I was going through stuff and I just wrote it down. So it's kind of hard for me to like read it and then pause and say it, and it sounds too scripted and I just don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna read the whole damn thing, because I don't want to say other stuff. I want to say exactly what I came up with, what I wrote. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's tap in, right? So remember who we really are here on earth, right? So our body is a temple to house our soul. For some, it's hard to comprehend at the moment. For others, it's not believable at all. Regardless, our purpose here is to experience. I don't believe we're human doers, meaning we aren't necessarily born to do anything, but just be and experience and grow spiritually here on Earth's realm. We are human beings, spiritual beings in human form. Human beings. When we come into this world through our portal, through the women's creative, through our portal, we have our vessels, which is the human part. It comes with equipments that you need to maneuver here on earth. And as a spiritual being, you just a light, you're energy, you're not really anything, but you're connected with everything. If we are supposed to be doing anything, one thing of the doings would be to help nourish the earth. But then again, that's just being. You're just being because the earth is us. We are the earth. We are nature. We are that. So we're just being, doing our stuff. Even though Earth is capable to do it herself, I do believe we are part of her expansion for growth by using our minds, the one thing Earth lacks, to help us all reach our infinite potential. But others found a way to pivot us from our spiritual journey by setting man-made laws. Forget universal laws. Forget that the earth nourishes us. Like, it's just our platform for us to walk on, right? But stay in school because you have no choice. It's by force. So we're here to ascend, to go to our full potential. But there's higher people in the earth realm, which they are not higher, because the only place that matters is in the spiritual. Here on earth, when you go back to your ways. You go back to your form. You go back to who you really are, where you are, everything. So they can control the mind by prepping us not to see anything outside society's time frame. The universal laws is what's running this. I'm not gonna say that here, but that's what's running this. Not man-made laws, the universal laws, right? It's for our ascension to keep us on track as we learn what it's like being a spiritual being in human form, or whatever theory you have. But we are not just humans. This is our vessel. This is an avatar. This is not us. We see the wrong people on top because in the human realm, there is a veil. It separates us from the spirit world, making us believe that being human, we are to have rulers, and they know this. They know this. So they figured out that they can steer us from birth while we are vulnerable by building a system that suppresses our mind in a thinking box to believe there's no other way of living and no other laws but man's. To disconnect us from all natural intuition until we wake up and realize that's bull crap. We are spiritual beings, so it only makes sense to build our spiritualness instead of feeding our ego. There's nothing wrong with indulging in the human desires because we are part human in this earth, and we were expected to get lured. We were expected to get lured. Don't get it wrong. You could indulge, and it's only natural because that's the whole that's the whole process of experiencing here, being a human, to experience the human side of stuff. We can't always be love and light. There's also darkness. So in a sense, you need to tap into that darkness, and you need to experience those darkness to really get the full experience. If you don't know what hate is, or unloved, let's just say it like that. If you've been loved your whole life, you're not going to know how unloved really feels. You're not going to relate to the people that have never been unloved. You have to experience. So we were expected to get lured, and we know this. Human desires, we know this. But at some point, we will remember what we really are, who we really are, and then we are back on track on building our spiritual knowledge in a human form that we wouldn't have been able to understand, while only experiencing it in our spiritual form. Okay? You could only, to experience a certain type of thing, you have to be that certain type of thing, or be the opposite to know what it is, if that makes sense. As a being, you can't touch, you can't smell, you can't do certain things. So being in a human form, we have this vessel that we could touch, we could smell, we have all these senses. We have all these senses to experience. This tastes like this smells like this. As a being, you're just being. Knowledge is infinite. We were given a mind to merge the left logical side and the right spiritual nurturing side. You use the side that coincides the best in the situation at hand. Left brain dominant says real men need to be tough. Saying stuff like men shouldn't cry. What kind of saying is that? Like, our creator gave them the same tear ducts as women so they can use them. Crying is a form of releasing. You release the emotions that are built up, the emotions that want to come out. So crying is a form of releasing, not retaining. Right side brain says, it's okay, let it out. It's good for you. Okay, so I'm gonna put a personal story in here, and it's about my daughter. When she was young, about 1 year old, right? She had fell and she got hurt. She got hurt on her knee. She scraped herself pretty bad. Not so bad, but enough to like have like a scrape. You see red already coming out and stuff like that. So her initial thought, her initial reaction was to kind of almost cry. And I basically told her, I was explaining her, it's okay, you don't have to cry. It's, you know, just trying to get her, because I know as kids, when you punish them and you just tap them, if you touch them, they cry for the fact that they got in trouble. They cry for the shockness. They cry for, but not necessarily because of the hurt. So for her to decipher the feelings, if it was, I kind of was like trying to guide her to see what she really truly was feeling. And honestly, she didn't even cry. She kept looking at the thing like it was like, you know, just there. So it was just a form of helping her decipher what's real and what's not, what's the feeling. The crying because of the shock, because that's what she thinks that she needs to do. Okay, but since I try to guide her in a way that to really think, is that what you want to do? Is that why? Because you have a choice to cry or not cry. You know, it goes a little bit deeper, but so she did not end up crying. So she didn't have nothing to release. It was just something that just happened to her, and then that's it. So her not crying, she didn't have nothing to release. So it just made sense to kind of guide her to see if that's what she wanted to, if that was what she needed to do, because crying is a form of releasing. So when people say, now when I say left dominant, because they think more with the logical brain, if it doesn't make sense, it's not it. This is how it makes sense, so this is it. And the right side is more of the having faith, having the hope, if you don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not real. It's believe in it. You know that, so I call it the spiritual side and the human side, human and the spiritual side, right? So, okay, so let's move on past that. Don't let the outside rule the inside. Don't let people that even are higher run you. Like, you have your say, you have who you are. Not living in our light will deteriorate us. We have mental breakdowns. We come to a crossroad where we are not even sure which path is ours. Like, we don't even know if this path is because that's really truly us, or because we are programmed, we are manipulated to go that way. We're just numb already to go this way. We don't even know who we are truly. Okay? We're confused all the time. We're all from the same essence. Okay? But with different experiences forming our personalities into different realities. So the dynamic of the brain can make us think we aren't one, but we are. We are one in many forms, to have multiple experience through different avenues, through different eyes, through different senses. If I hurt you, then you hurt another, and then they hurt, and the cycle continues. Let's break the cycle. Stay true to your decisions. Ask yourself, are you okay with that? Or are you making a decision based off others' actions that hurt you before? Because that wasn't your decision to hurt. It was another's, and you picked it up. No one's decision is better than another's. There's just preference on what decisions you choose. If you learn who you really are as a human being, then you won't succumb to a lot of unfulfilling actions that leave you with more layers to scrape off. From birth, we are limited to what's put in our minds and the beliefs we carry to adulthood. But by a certain age, you are able to unlearn, to relearn beliefs that are compatible with you. But if you start asking questions, and staying true to your answers, then you will eventually start rewinding to your essence and following the path that your heart is already on. Your heart already knows where it wants to go. But because we were born in a society that's already had systems made, it kind of maneuvered us to forget where we came to be and to do and to just our essence. Okay? So if you will start reminding to your essence and following the path that your heart is already on. Home is where the heart is. Home is not physical. Home is inside you. Home in the physical is where your insides, frequencies match the outside. So take the journey to find yourself. Just feel the feelings and maneuver your thoughts on how it feels to be in your essence. And your fire will grow to accomplish it. Your soul's essence is not the problem. It's the mindset. If you want to know what you are capable of, learn about yourself instead of the people that are on cameras for distraction and entertainment only. The entertainment world, I don't know where you guys been. I'm always under a rock. I'm in a cave. I see and I know and I hear. So if I'm under a cave and I see and I hear, I hope you guys know and you see, you hear that one thing after another, that's the devil's game. Okay? If you want, okay, now this is just like things, practices, I guess, that you could do. I put here so you could go on solo dates. Going on solo dates is good. It's all right, especially if you're single, especially if you don't have a partner, especially if you're lonely. A lonely feeling could be detrimental. But go on solo dates. Look around. Like, go on solo dates just to date you, just to be with you. Okay? Because this is all about learning who we are, remembering who we are. Not learning who we are, but remembering who we are and learning. Once you remember who you are, you're back on track to start now experiencing, to start learning, to start really appreciating and knowing that a touch is something that we did not know coming in here. Okay. So I mean, I put that you could get a board game that asks questions and answer them yourself. Like sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know what your favorite color is. Sometimes you don't know what your favorite anything is or anything. So if you, I feel like if you get a board game and a board game that asks questions, whatever question it is, it doesn't even matter what categories or anything like that. Play with yourself, or not even play. Just read the cards and then just see. Just get acquainted with your answers. Get acquainted with what comes to your mind. Okay. Jot down feelings that you can catch and ask, where are they coming from? Meditate a little. I meditate. It's an awesome feeling. I love it. But sometimes I hear people and they say things like, that's bad, that's letting, I don't know where they get that from. Because I'm a spiritual person and I don't tap into anything bad. Like, yeah, I have my bad ways and I do, but meditating is a form of being one. If you ever meditated, or if you never meditate, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you ever had a moment in your life that everything is like silent, everything is still, everything is one, then you'll know the feeling I'm talking about. And that's a part of the meditation that sometimes you kind of try to get to, because that's where everything is kind of clear for a moment. You kind of have clarity for a moment, and you kind of know that things are gonna be okay, really. Okay, so find what makes time stop long enough for you to feel and hear. Okay, so that's what I wrote, and I wanted to make this video so the message come out to remember who we really are. Now, there's a lot of us that have different theories. We're stars. We're everything. We are the galaxy. We are the universe. We're one with nature. We're one. Like, we're all connected. We're all connected. Everything is connected. We're one form, but we're another form. But we are, at the end, we come from the same essence, and that's just light. We're just energy. We're just beings. Okay? Now, when we're in different forms, when we're in a different avatar, when we're in a different box, we're in a different, vessel, is to experience that way of living. Okay, so my people, I hope you tapped in with me, and I hope you got the message, or I hope you got in and it felt all jiggly in there. So I leave you with this: do things that make you feel good. Recoup. Okay, do things that make you feel good. Like, start doing things. Learn yourself. Once you learn yourself, you will know yourself. Then you start really living. You start really living the human experience. You start really being here and doing the human experience. Like, don't let the outside rule the inside. The inside makes your outside. The inside makes your paradise. Okay? So, peace. So I'm going to pull a card, and let's see what card decides to come out. I'm just saying, Spirit, give me a card that coincides with our energy. The moon. The moon. The moon is our emotions. The Knight of Pentacles. but these are the two that fell out, that popped out. So the moon is the emotion. It's what kind of rules us. It's what kind of pushes us. It's when you're one with the moon, like when you sit with the moon, it brings out your thoughts, filters the thoughts, it filters the emotions. What pulls us to what emotionally calling us. And the Knight of Pentacles is kind of like a focus. You're kind of, you know what you have, you're already focused, and you're going to go through that journey to get to where you're gonna get. So if you get your emotions checked in line and do that inner work and just sit and learn who you are, or rediscover who you are, then you're gonna be refocused. So you relearn who you are, you discover who you are, so you could be focused to be back on your journey. Okay, try to, you're that funny girl. Recoup